good fight for both guys. It's a good fight. I think it's a fight that everybody's going to be pleased with.
Boxing professionals have chosen their sides of the fence as Isaac Cruz stepped into the ring for the second time this year against Valenzuela. While Isaac Cruz has emerged as a favorite, some professionals still feel Valenzuela is capable of an upset.
Ballsy, damn good. You know, he don't give trouble to anybody in the life.
I don't fucking know. I don't give a fuck really who you want. Bruh.
WBA junior welterweight champion Isaac Pitbull Cruz of Mexico City defends his belt for the first time when he takes on fellow countryman Jose Valenzuela this Saturday, August 3rd. The 12-rounder from Los Angeles, California, is on the undercard of the Terence Crawford vs. Israel Madrimov tilt and can be seen live on pay-per-view in most nations, including DAZN and ESPN platforms. Cruz won the title in his last outing in March when he stopped Rolando Romero in the 8th round. In his previous fight last July, he edged Giovanni Cabrera by 12-round split decision to hold on to his World Boxing Council silver lightweight title and win the vacant World Boxing Organization Latino lightweight belt. It's no surprise that this same victim was one of the first people to predict the fight when the match was announced some months back. Giovanni Cabrera, before making his pick, was asked about his thoughts on the fact that Pitbull Cruz snubbed Valenzuela's hand while he tried shaking him.
Division for sure. I think he's got a good shot to beat him, and he should have just respected him. You know, why double down on the, you know, you're not really a Pitbull.
Sharply, he retorted, "The boxing gods don't like that." He then continued, tipping Valenzuela for a surprise win over the small Mexican that defeated him last year. "Rayo is damn good. He's gonna give trouble to anybody in the lightweight division for sure. He's got a good shot to beat him." He said this and jumped back on the topic of the handshake snub, seeming to have so much against Isaac Cruz. He should have just respected him. Why double down on him? You're not really a pit bull, man.
The power is there. You know, he's always had power that.
Speaking about Isaac Cruz, Devin Haney's father, Bill Haney, who's been on a silent mode ever since his son's defeat to Ryan Garcia and Ryan Garcia's punishment by boxing authorities.
Kept every opponent honest. I never saw opponent just running in there, you know, so it's a reason why they're not running in there. And you saw Regis.
Well, Bill Haney, like many of those who picked Isaac Cruz on this list, acknowledged his power as his main weapon. Isaac Cruz might be small, and that's why many of these guys underrate him, but the power is there. He's got power. He's always had power that kept every opponent. Honestly, I never saw any opponent just running in there, so it's a reason why they aren't running in there. And you saw Rolly Romero get hurt in the last fight.
A good fight for both guys. It's a good fight. I think it's a fight that everybody's going to be pleased.
Jeff Mayweather, talking about the fight, said, "I think it's a good fight for both guys. It's a good fight. It's a fight that everybody will be pleased with." We've got two guys that actually love the fight. They don't care about getting hit. They don't care about the finer things in boxing. I think that's going to be a great, entertaining fight for the fans.
Because you got two guys that actually love the fight. They don't care about boxing. They don't care about getting hit. They don't care about none of the, the finer things in boxing. But
he then proceeded to make his pick, and I'm leaning towards Pitbull Cruz. He has the pure aggressiveness and an epic style that'll see him put down almost everyone, even the more powerful guys, like he did to Rolly Romero earlier this year. Rolando Romero, who is the most recent victim of Isaac Cruz, eventually losing his world title in the process.
Either, but I mean, it's like I said.
Rolando Romero, on Isaac Cruz's coming fight against Jose Valenzuela, predicted that the Mexican would make a mess of his opponent.
I don't fucking know. I don't give a fuck really who you want. I really don't give a fuck about any of that shit. So.
I really don't care who wins. I'd be back to mess them all up. Cruz is a small little guy with an underrated power, and his opponent will experience a butt whooping. Also, Pitbull Cruz's promoter, Manny Pacquiao, predicted the fight in favor of his fighter.
Right there.
I watched this fight in 1990s and I became a boxer.
That's what inspired him right there.
Yeah. Mallory.
Pacquiao, who's coming off an exhibition fight against Rukia Ampo, said during an interview, Pitbull Cruz would get the job done. He's ready for the top, for the best, and he'll go show what he's made of. Valenzuela is great too, but Pitbull would definitely deal with him. In the meantime, Pacquiao returned to the ring in Japan for an exhibition against kickboxer Rukia Ampo. Granted, Ampo had a significant reach and height advantage, but even still, Pac-Man looked every bit his age over the course of the 3 rounds. Fans took to social media to beg him to reconsider the professional comeback after seeing how he fared, with one saying he looked 100 years old in the ring, and another saying that a world title shot at this stage was laughable. There were flashes of Pacquiao's skill in the bout, which ended in a draw as most exhibitions do, but he was being caught by Ampo much too often, and drawn into more of a fight than he had perhaps prepared for. The performance was branded embarrassing by a viewer on social media, and the future Hall of Famer was, by many, urged to reconsider his future plans and stay retired. Post-fight, Pacquiao said Ampo was strong and fights well even though he lacks experience, before qualifying it with "he's also way bigger than me." He admitted he had a lot to work on should the Barrios plans be realized, but it was way worse than he had imagined. And for boxing fans, Manny Pacquiao is creating the kind of fear that they had and still have for Mike Tyson while he is set to face Jake Paul. The way Isaac Pitbull Cruz sees it, his fights are an extension of a lifetime contract with his fans.
Against Rayo Valenzuela.
Es un gusto tenerte aquí con nosotros en Fight Hub.
At just 26 years old, Mexico's new World Boxing Association 140-pound champion displayed the strength of the powerful bond with his fan base on March 30th, when the Allegiant crowd cheered more heartily for Cruz than even the main event participants Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu in their unforgettable bloodbath for the unified junior middleweight titles.
Muy bien preparados para dar un gran espectáculo y seguir siendo campeón.
Cruz was hailed above all, and he leaned deeply into that roaring appreciation to execute a complete destruction of outgoing, trash-talking champion Rolly Romero by 8th round technical knockout.
It was a hard training camp. We make all the effort and we have very strong training all the days. Then we think
the same type of takeover is likely Saturday night at BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, where Cruz makes the first defense of his belt against a game Mexican-born contender, Jose Rayo Valenzuela, in the co-main event to another junior middleweight title fight, pitting World Boxing Association champion Israel Madrimov against unbeaten 3-division champion Terrence Crawford.
What do you think is Rayo as a fighter?
¿Qué piensas de Rayo como peleador, de las habilidades que él tiene como peleador?
Es un peleador con bastantes habilidades.
Believe me, we are the main event. Everyone in Los Angeles is coming to this fight for Pitbull Mania. Just like Las Vegas came out for him March 30th, Cruz's advisor, Sean Gibbons, said it's going to be a Mexican crowd and you'll see exactly who the main event is. Cruz expects the same, and he explains the unwritten agreement this way. "What I do inside the ring is for the fans, for them to be happy," Cruz said. "In the end, that's the connection between myself and the fans because we know what we give each other. When they come to see me fight, I want to give them what they came to see."
Creo que todos me han noqueado en las palabras, pero a la mera hora ellos han salido noqueados y creo que una clara prueba ahí está con Rolly Romero.
That's why Cruz sees no reason he won't capture the evening again from the American and Uzbekistan main event combatants who have yet to prove they can fill a non-hometown stadium without secondary support.
El día de Nueva York, que cuando no le quisiste dar la mano, fue a propósito. ¿Por qué fue? Acá ahora lo vas a volver a ver cara a cara. ¿Va a ser la misma energía o qué va a suceder ese día?
Why not? Let's go and steal the show, Cruz said. That's why I've been working so hard training in Mexico City. As his nickname suggests, Cruz is a vicious punching fighter when unleashed from his corner.
I want to win. I will win, and that's why I prepare all the time for the people see me win this fight.
You know, your style is a very aggressive style. You throw a lot of punches.
His ferocity and volume of punches with ill intentions overwhelmed Romero, and Cruz is confident he'll experience similar success against Valenzuela, 25, despite the contender's Mexican origin and the fact he's been in expert trainer Robert Garcia's gym for 4 months.
Hemos hecho y a los ajustes que hemos tenido dentro del equipo para bien.
Yes,
Valenzuela, in a recent boxing scene story, made quite a case that his career experiences and the timing of this bout make it feel as if he's destined to pull the upset. To that, Cruz delivered a cold, fierce expression.
But like in the street
en las calles.
No, en las calles no.
Great fighter, ¿no?
You were a good kid.
Beyond his highlight reel knockouts, Cruz volunteered for a lightweight title shot at Gervonta Tank Davis and went the distance with him in a narrow defeat by decision in December 2021. Since then, Cruz has reeled off 4 consecutive victories, his popularity and likability surging with each triumph. "Look, what I have accomplished so far has been hard," Cruz said. "Whatever Valenzuela has said he can say, but I am not giving up what I have worked for."
What do we see from you this fight? How does this fight play out in your opinion, Isaac?
¿Cuál es tu opinión acerca de tu pelea? ¿Cómo es que vienes?
Cruz is actually reaching for a greater stature. When he first claimed the 140-pound belt, his fellow champions were Teofimo Lopez, World Boxing Organization, unbeaten Devin Haney, World Boxing Council, and dominant Puerto Rican power puncher Subriel Matias. Since then, Haney suffered 3 knockdowns to a performance-enhanced Ryan Garcia on April 20th, a no contest that ultimately led Haney to vacate his World Boxing Council belt and left Garcia suspended for 1 year. Matias was then upset by Australia's Liam Paro in a bout staged in Puerto Rico.
Entró una casa nuevamente.
We came very preparedly. We came preparedly for each surprise that he wanted to take on the ring, every advance, every move.
And Lopez is reportedly interested in fighting Brian Norman Jr. for a World Boxing Council welterweight belt. Victory Saturday would effectively transform Cruz into the king of the 140-pound division. "I may not be the king, but if I win this fight, my presence will be known," Cruz said. "People will be like, this is the troublemaker in the 140-pound division."
Man, then we will keep winning this time. We will.
In terms of motivation, Isaac, because the fight before with Rolly, he was talking and talking and talking.
Valenzuela trainer Robert Garcia went as far to say that Cruz, one of 7 world champions from his country, already stands as the most loved active fighter in all of Mexico. The criticism being leveled at 4-division champion Canelo Alvarez for fighting the underwhelming Edgar Berlanga Sept 14 in Las Vegas hasn't helped his cause. Cruz fighting often and showcasing the entertaining style that he's flashed against Davis and Romero and others is creating a successor to the Mexican greats of the past, and declaring victory on this stacked, heavily watched Saturday card will only boost his cause. "Look, I feel really privileged, happy, and excited by the fact that people feel this way about me," Cruz said. "When that adoration is said, that means I need to give them a show every time out. That's what the people want. I'm going to give them what they want." Of course, they want a knockout, and Valenzuela was floored in the 3rd round by Edwin de los Santos 2 years ago. Valenzuela admits he believes Team Cruz thinks he's chinny. "I don't prepare for a specific round. I prepare for all 12 rounds and to fight at the best possible level," Cruz said.
Mentally, physically, spiritually, I'm all there. Everything is there. And I'm just ready to take on, this opportunity of a lifetime.
It was a hastily made fight, the opponent invited on the heels of 2 losses in his last 3 fights, including a knockout defeat. Maybe that's all anyone making matches for new WBA 140-pound champion Isaac Pitbull Cruz needs to know, considering the popular Mexican's penchant for unleashing hellacious punches that only the most granite of chins can withstand. Yet, there's a richer story to Jose Rayo Valenzuela, one that a superficial inspection of his record and boxing highlights obscures. And now that he's got Cruz in the ring with a title shot in reach, he can tell it. "People are sleeping on me, but I think that's a good thing," Valenzuela told Boxing Scene recently during a post-workout interview at his trainer Robert Garcia's gym.
Yet, this fight came out of left field. It took everyone by surprise. But knowing you, knowing Pitbull, immediately people are like, "Oh, this is a good fight."
Go back first to that knockout loss, a Sept 4, 2022 third-round defeat at the hands of Edwin de los Santos, a Dominican replacement foe for Valenzuela, who the then 23-year-old training under Jose Benavidez Sr. took lightly and was unprepared for.
This is a really good fight. And I know a lot of fans have been saying, you guys have a good chance to not only steal the show, but many fans consider you guys the real main event for.
Everybody's overlooking me because of the De Los Santos fight, but if you knew the conditions I fought in, anybody would have lost. People are saying I'm chinny. I don't think I'm chinny because he put a lot of punches on me. I had surgery 2 weeks before the fight on my leg, had a sleeve on, antibiotics, Valenzuela said. He chalks the loss up to youthful recklessness and overconfidence. I don't want to put anyone on blast. I'll take the blame for it. Being young, having won every fight, always being in the lights, being around former unbeaten super middleweight champion David Benavidez. I got caught up in the moment, and the loss was a good, humbling experience, he said. Still, it stung, and Valenzuela was angered to learn afterward from his parents that supporters of Cruz who knocked out Eduardo Ramirez in the second round of that same card poured salt in the wound of Valenzuela's loss. When I lost to De Los Santos, Pitbull's team threw Pitbull flags at my family after I was knocked out, Valenzuela said. That's always stuck with me. I've always had a chip on my shoulder for Pitbull to go get him. In addition to aligning with Garcia, the early frontrunner for Trainer of the Year, who counts super flyweight champion Jesse Bam Rodriguez, unbeaten junior middleweight Virgil Ortiz, and former unified 140-pound champion Jose Ramirez in his stable, Valenzuela said he changed everything about the associates around him following a subsequent March 25, 2023 unanimous decision loss to Chris Colbert. By everything, he said, Valenzuela means everybody who's around me, bonding instead with clear-headed people who love me, who'll tell me what I need to hear. The left-handed Valenzuela returned to avenge the Colbert loss by 6th-round knockout in December. Rayo is the Spanish word for lightning. Rayo is very aggressive, throws hard punches with great power. Rayo probably has more power than Pitbull, Garcia said in a jaw-dropping statement. His power's crazy, and he's listening. He's boxing well, using that jab and those angles, and that's all part of the plan. It's not all that well known either that Valenzuela has been in Garcia's gym for 4 consecutive months. He'd begun preparing to exact revenge on De Los Santos too when the phone rang. Premier Boxing Champions had placed the increasingly popular Cruz's first title defense on the August 3rd card in Los Angeles, being staged by Saudi Arabia's Turki Al Sheikh and its Riyadh season. The world title's been a dream of mine since 10, Valenzuela said. After almost losing everything in a flash to De Los Santos and Colbert, leaving Benavidez and finding my own way, getting my hunger back and being with my team, this is a second opportunity at what I love to do.
Just, stating my opinion, my prediction.
Do you still stand by that prediction? The more in this you are, you see it more and more that you'll get a knockout in this?
Since committing to the bout, Valenzuela says he feels fate is part of all this too. When he started boxing at age 10, he recalls his first mile-long training run, inserting his headphones and listening to an Eminem song. Valenzuela has since learned that Al Sheikh is bringing Eminem to perform at the AUG, 3 fight cards headlined by the rapper's friend, unbeaten 3-division champion Terrence Crawford. Crazy because it's a full circle thing. My first run to my first title, Valenzuela said. Garcia is eager to send his well-prepared charge into the ring, knowing his thirsting contender poses the complication of a left-handed stance and the ability to land flurries and damaging power punches, while the champion may be viewing this as a coronation of sorts before a friendly LA crowd. Both Valenzuela and Garcia have watched how Southpaw Giovanni Cabrera gave Cruz fits in their July 2023 bout, decided by a 1-point split decision. A southpaw is always going to be difficult for a right-hander. Most of the fights we try to avoid southpaws because they always give guys trouble, Garcia said. Cruz didn't look too great against a southpaw Cabrera, so that's a thing we're looking at. He didn't have great success against the tall, lanky southpaw. Rayo is much better than Giovanni Cabrera. We're also working on the punches down the middle. If he lands good, he'll hurt Pitbull. And being in the gym so long is good. He's got his mind locked in on fighting. He's ready. Garcia emphasizes one other point. Valenzuela's very focused. He's fighting a title fight against the most loved fighter from Mexico. Not one person in Mexico doesn't love Pitbull. That's a big opportunity because Rayo was also born in Mexico, and he wants to let the world know it's 2 Mexicans in the ring, which makes it a more interesting fight. He's got a great chance, and I think while Pitbull is a tremendous fighter we respect, they've also done a great job promoting him and selecting his opponents. Like Eminem's lyrics in Lose Yourself, Valenzuela expects to reflect upon the travails he experienced when fight night arrives. Raised in Washington after being born in Mexico, he recalls his parents, Father Arturo and Mother Yagna, making deep concessions to support his boxing dream. They sacrificed everything for me. 2 hours to get to the gym making minimum wage, $10 wage an hour. They'd put their last $30 in the tank just to get me to the gym, Valenzuela said. Coming home, The lights were off. They invested all their money in me, money and time they didn't have. The fact I was so close to losing it all, to being here now, I'm going to leave it all in the ring. Arturo and Rayo Valenzuela will attend the fight. Now is the perfect moment in my life, Jose Valenzuela said. Everything happens for a reason. I don't think I would be as ready as I am at this moment. It all prepared me perfectly. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.